Hello everyone and welcome back to LEGO New York. A lot has happened in the past 6 weeks or so. Been sick for an entire week, but still I managed to make quite a bit of changes in the city, some big and some small. So let's dive right in, starting with the big changes. I think I mentioned in the last video that I extended the city by an entire table, allowing me to add 2 rows of base plates and creating space for what is now the tallest building of the city. And it probably will remain that way because in reality, this is also the tallest building of New York and of the United States. It is, of course, One World Trade Center, also known as Freedom Tower. And my God, what does it look good! It is an amazing building, and it has taken me quite a while to collect all the parts for this one, specifically these 1x2 bricks with no pin in the middle. They are very hard to get here in Sweden in these numbers. I needed, I think, like 3,256 of them. Most of them I have from Germany, from a single seller, and my fingers hurt like hell after building this one. But the result is amazing. It's an incredible building. I'm only missing some stuff for the sideways, so not like regular tiles, but I'm missing a few of these modified ones with the studs so I can pose some figures, and some of these modified tiles to finish the sideway here. But otherwise it's finished and I'm very happy with how it looks. It's very hard to see, but it's quite a bit taller than the Empire State Building over there and much taller than all the other buildings. So the roof height of the Freedom Tower, let's see if we can measure it, gets to the bottom of the antenna of the Empire State Building. And then on top of that roof, of course, is another large antenna. So it really dominates the city. It does throw a shadow on top of some of the other buildings, which is quite a shame. But, you know, what are you going to do? It's New York. You're going to have shadows. So, yeah, pretty happy with this one. And like with most of my buildings, there are instructions available for this one too. So you can find them on Rebreakable. Check out the link below this video, and you can find instructions on how to build this yourself. I actually changed the instructions after I built it for myself because there isn't quite an internal structure, which is completely unnecessary, which I found out during the building process. So when I find the courage, I'm going to take it apart, take out the entire internal structure and just build it up again so I can use the bricks for my next project, but I'll tell you more about that later. So this entire block is new, and it also includes something else, which is not finished yet, but it will be in the next video. You can probably guess this is the 9/11 memorial site where the Twin Towers were. I finished one of these like waterfall pits with these black sides, which in reality have the names of all the victims on top of them. There's going to be some nice trees. I made a new tree design that I want to test out here. There's going to be a huge flag in the middle, and I was so happy with the tree design that I'm probably going to use it throughout the city. I'm going to ditch the winter leaves because changing them out is just way too much work. It doesn't allow me to focus on the buildings. So I'm going to change everything back to green trees and hopefully a newer model of trees. So that happened. Another thing that happened is that LEGO brought some new sets in January, including the yellow city taxi. And I think I am not the only one that thinks that this looks absolutely great. I'm very happy with the set. It fits the city perfectly as New York because they're yellow, and you have the advertisement on top. They even have a trunk that you can open for some suitcases and stuff. And you can open up the front and you can see it's an electric car. I won't review the entire set. Other people can do that way better than I do. Just wanted to show you, I got 6 of them now, I think, throughout the city, meaning that I have 6 of these. I have, let's see, 2 of these that are my own design based on this police car, but then yellow. Then I have 1 custom and 1 that came with the Daily Bugle. I have 1 very old taxi. So that makes 6 and 2 is 8, 10, 11 taxis now. So that's pretty good. And I'm looking to have some more normal cars. And unfortunately, Lego doesn't really make so many normal cars. So, for example, this is the Land Rover Defender set. Looks amazing, like an actual vehicle, but there's not so many of those. And then I realized there are the older Speed Champion sets. Those are 6 studs wide. And if you just remove the stickers or just don't apply them, then you end up with something like this, which looks like an actual normal car. So now I'm on the hunt for more old Speed Champion sets that I can use as regular cars in my city. And then, of course, there's some superhero vehicles. So this is the new Spider-Man car, which I actually bought more because of the Venomized Wolverine minifigure, but I still thought it was a nice addition to the city. Back to Freedom Tower, we have this whole new block. It's going to look amazing, adding streetlights and stuff. I even have an extra bus stop over here. So I think, this area is going to be really nice. I like that it's not like 2 base plates by 2 base plates, but just 1 by 2 base plates, allowing for a little bit more open space over here for vehicles and other things. Here, I started on something else because the 2 base plates I added didn't really cover the entire table. It left me space for 1 row of these 8 by 16 base plates. And that makes me able to pretend that this is the tip of Manhattan ending in water. So what I'm going to do is extend this whole row the entire way, have a walkway with this wall, which will have some of these pillars with like lamps on top of them, a little bit of a fence on top of here, and then you have the water, and people will be able to fish and run and stuff. I'll remove all this market stuff, which is still winter themed, and then tile the entire part here and have an actual waterfront in the city, which I think is a nice addition. Some other changes I made. I was looking at my older streetlight design. So here's an old traffic light. So this was the old design I used. It's actually from a set. It's from the Ghostbusters headquarters set, but it's still too black. It didn't look like the real thing. So I changed them out to these. So now they're entirely yellow. They have the protruding lights, which is a little bit better. I added these traffic lights for pedestrians so they can, cross the street safely, and some trash cans to some of the street lights. And it just, especially the pedestrian street light, it really adds some realism to the city. So overall, I'm pretty happy with where this is going, especially now that I have a much taller building over here. It kind of creates the illusion that you have like a lower part and then a higher part again. So this would be like Midtown, this would be FiDi, the financial district, and then you have like, like the Upper East and West Side over there with some of the more well-known buildings. So very happy with how that turned out, and I can already show you what I'm working on for the next project. Also, let's just have a quick Fifth Avenue appreciation moment, because this view is just never getting boring to me. It is an amazing view. I still need to change out most of the streetlights, but it brings everything to life. This corner is my favorite angle of the city. And while we're walking to the next project, I want to give you a small update. Here is the construction site. A friend of mine donated the missing parts that I was looking for, like these yellow pillars, so I could make some progress over there. This is going to end up like this high, so it's going to be quite a significant building. I'm not sure if it's going to stay there forever, but for now, this is a nice construction site. And what we're going to do is go to the back, all the way over here, where we have a new construction site already in place. So this is going to be the new project. Normally, I try to make my skyscrapers 1 base plate. This is a little bit of an odd situation. You might notice there's a ramp over here. And this is going to be Grand Central Station, including the MetLife building. But since they're sort of attached to each other, it didn't make sense to have like an actual gap between them. So this is sort of a double baseplate building. It's going to be entirely covered by building. So the building is going to come up all the way to the edge of the baseplates, and there's going to be a small ramp In reality, that ramp is very long, but that wouldn't work in this city. So a small one, a small bridge. You have the way around Grand Central Station. It's not going to be big enough to hold cars, but it will be big enough to hold pedestrians. So that's, I think, a nice thing. And then here is going to be Grand Central Station, about this high. And then there's be the office building, and it's going to have the MetLife building, which is going to end up about the same height as this tower. So sort of medium sized for the city. And I realize that even when I'm sitting in my work spot over here, I'll probably not even be able to see it because it's going to be exactly behind those buildings. But still, it's going to be a very nice project to work on. It's pretty large, like 3,500 pieces. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it like next month. So maybe the next video is going to be another, collection video to highlight a part of my Lego collection and tell you more about that. But working on this, more plans are on the way because I'm running out of base plates to build on. So I was figuring if I can turn these tables around sideways, I can add another row of base plates over here, giving me a second avenue that is boxed in by buildings. When I have Grand Central Station over there, I should be able to add one Vanderbilt over here, maybe some Hudson Yards buildings over here. So many plans, but for now, I'm going to focus on Grand Central Station and the MetLife building and finish the 9/11 memorial. So that's it for this update. Oh, nearly stepped in some Lego over there. I'm really looking forward to what you guys think of the city and what buildings should be added next. Which iconic New York buildings should you want to see in the city? Let me know in the comments and see you all in the next one.